Welcome back to the Let Go Movement podcast. My name is Acacia. I am your host. Thank you so much for joining another episode. And thank you so much for listening, watching, pressing play on the previous episodes, and subscribing, dropping a review or a comment. All these things that you do that are just takes 2 seconds of your time really help this channel reach more people, helps connect me with people that are ready to let go of some shit. This is what I do. I'm a facilitator out in the world, like many other people that are here to help you shift through stuff, release negative programming, negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and really from a space where I just said negative, but really just release what is not going to serve you as you move forward in your life. For me, I really truly believe that there is no positive or negative energy. There just is what there is, and we create it, and it's our thoughts, feelings, emotions that then turn that into what's perceived as negative or positive. And really, I'm here to help release your body, your being, your soul, your tissues, your whole expansion from the self-imposed limitations. So your interaction with this episode and this channel really helps me get my word out to people and helps people find me so that we can work together. And on today's episode, it's kind of a story I want to share with you guys, a bit of an embarrassing moment that I caught myself in that I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And it's a story around money. And I'm going to just say, if you hear a bunch of loud banging, I am currently recording this episode in San Cristobal de la Casa in Chiapas, Mexico. Clay and I have started. If you don't follow us on like Facebook or his socials or, catch in my newsletter, because I don't have Instagram anymore to like share these like updates. So newsletter is actually a really great way to get what's going on in my life. But we've entered into a house sitting role for the next few months. So we are at our first house sit, and one of the dogs just pushed open the kitchen door, and it's freezing cold. I'm not used to the cold. San Cristobal de la Casa is beautiful. It's way up in the mountains at the very south of Mexico. We are, only a few hours away from the Guatemala-Mexican border. And it is a beautiful part of this country, but it's cold. So I'm recording this in San Cristobal, and I had a moment walking the downtown streets of San Cristobal, the beautiful streets, and I caught myself saying something it's embarrassing to admit. But it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where your status is or isn't yet. You're always going to work on your money story. I have followed, multi-million-dollar business owners, and to this day, well into their 50s, they're still working on their money story. They are still cultivating more room for more money. They're still clearing their random thoughts and feelings and emotions and events that happen in their life and making more. And for some of us, we don't have to think about those things, and people just make money. And then there's another section of us where this is what we got to do. We got to do the work, and we got to align with what we want to align with, got to align with the universe, got to align with God, got to align with source, and receive and be in total receiving of it. And in order to do that, we got to remove our limitations actively, consciously. So I've been reading this amazing book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thompson, or Thomas. I don't know why I always say Thompson or Thomas. I have a lot of people with last names with Thomas or Thompson. So I apologize, Denise, if you ever listen to this. But it's a great freaking book. I read her first book, Lucky Bitch, and my friend turned me on to her second book. And it is such a great read. There are so many things that I do with my clients that are in this book. So it's kind of like my own self-coaching moment reading this book. And I'm no stranger to like journaling and writing out your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and clearing them using various modalities that I have in my pocket. And so every morning, I'm really working on my money story right now. Like that is my focus, is money blocks. I feel like I go in seasons with different areas of my life. And currently it's income. And like I said, it doesn't matter who you are. You're always working on that relationship, that creationship, that receiving capacity. Another great person to follow for this is Manifestation Babe. Freaking amazing. Love her. Shout out to Catherine Zinkina. So every morning I'm writing down thoughts that pop into my head, experiences that I've had in the past, memories around shopping, wanting something, not getting it, blah, 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 on and on and on. And I'm using the access clearing statement, and I'm tapping, and I'm using the forgiveness statement, and I'm clearing them. And so here I am the other day walking the dogs with Clayton, going for a beautiful walk up to this like lookout spot, which always in Mexico has a church attached at the top of it, with a beautiful view. And we're going to go and take the dogs around this like park. And I catch myself saying, oh my gosh, oh, how silly. But you know what? I want you to think about you in these moments, because me sharing this story hopefully triggers your own thought process to start to bring to the surface some funny thoughts that you also have that actually stop you from experiencing life the way that you want to experience it and puts limitations on your world. So here I am walking, and I catch myself saying, who sits at that cafe? How fancy do I have to get to sit there? Like, when will I have enough money to sit at that cafe? And I was like, wow, that's a limitation. And I like keep walking, and I'm saying the clearing statement. I'm like, everything that is, pock and pot it. And I get to the top of this like lookout church area, and I go, are we going to change this? Are we going to change this story right now? And I was getting hungry, like borderline hangry. And I said to Clayton, I was like, hey, do you want to grab a bite? I know we've got dinner at home, but I'm getting hungry. Do you want to share like a sandwich at one of those cafes or restaurants at the bottom of the hill? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we're walking. I'm like, okay, well, if someone pops out to you, like, let's go sit at it. So he's like, how about this one? It's a fancy cafe. And him and I love fancy cafes. Like, if one thing that we like to spend our money on, it's travel, experiences, and I would say like fine dining, to be honest, or like really fun food experiences. So here we are. I'm like, yes, let's do it. And I sit down and I realize this is the cafe. This is the cafe that I had that moment of like, when will I have enough money and when will I be fancy enough to sit here? And the funny thing is my coffee did not cost anything more than anywhere else in the city. Our sandwich, yes, it was a bit smaller than, in portion, but it was only maybe 25 pesos more than the average sandwich in the city in like the downtown area. So like, what the F? And the questions that were running in my head was like, what the fuck does fancy mean? Enough never means enough. Like, you can never actually define what enough is. You can only define targets you're going to hit. But because I'm a creative being, enough is just a forever cycle and it's never ending. So you got to decide when you're going to do it. And you got to decide for yourself, no, you are actually enough right now. There's no such thing as not being enough. So these things are going in my head. I'm sitting down there and I write my, Clayton and I will often like text each other things that are like for ourselves because we both forget to go into like our notes app. But if it's in our conversation, we'll remember to like go back in there. And I wrote, I do. And he's like, I do. I was like, oh yeah, that's for me. He's like, do you want to elaborate? And I was like, yeah, sure. When we were walking past here before, I had this thought of who sits there, when will I be fancy enough, and when will I have money enough to sit there? And I'm sitting here in this exact cafe that I had this thought at, and I'm like, I do. I do here now. I'm fancy enough now. I am no different than anybody else sitting at this cafe. I decide what that is for me. I am enough right now. My coffee here is no more than any other coffee that I would buy at any other cafe. So why do I put these limitations on myself? And I'm like, I sit here. I do. I'm the type of person. It's like in Denise's book, Get Rich Lucky Bitch. It's like, this is what a wealthy person looks like. Now, I'm not a money coach, but I know that my work that I do with people, when we work on the body, we work on limitations, and no matter what areas of life, money is usually one of them that we work through. Increase of income comes. When you work on the body, money grows in the world, in your life. When you work on your money, your body gets better. Like, these things are very intertwined in the work that I do. So she has this thing in her book and in her workshops where people will stand up and say, this is what a rich person looks like. This is what, whatever it looks like. Putting that person in that position to own it, claim it, feel it, be it right now. Because we have all these projections through media, through movies and music, and our surroundings, what we picked up from our parents about what something looks like. And when you start doing this work of like writing out all these thoughts, feelings, and emotions that come up around these topics, some of them are going to make you laugh. Like the whole thing about me walking down the street being like, well, who sits there? It's a freaking cafe, Keisha. You sit there. You sat at the one down the street because it had a beautiful couch and your ass is so uncomfortable at your current house sit because there's no couch at the house. There's nowhere comfortable to sit and or warm. So you literally make yourself sit in cafes that have couches and you pay to sit there. Like your body wants that. You're going to create the income to support that because that is congruent with you. So you sit there, Keisha, like this. I'm the person that sits at the cafe with my sweatshirt and my leggings and my shoes that are dirty from the hike. I sit at this cafe. I don't know if I showered or not either yesterday. So a girl who doesn't know if she showered, she sits at that cafe. So just sharing the story, I hope you're smiling. I hope you are starting to think of all the funny things that come up in your head that you can start looking at now, being like, okay, well, everything that is, I'm going to pock and pot all that. I'm going to clear that. I no longer need that limitation in my world. And you know what? I sit at that cafe. I buy from that clothing store. Another example, Clayton and I went into a store. And are we in the middle of traveling for like the next 9 months to a year? Yes. Are our suitcases like zero room for any additional clothing? Yeah, we have zero room for any additional clothing. Could we swap out some clothes? Yeah, totally. Is my bank account at the level currently to spend, $125 on a new dress? Not at this current moment with everything going on, but I'm also not allocating my money there either. I'm allocating my money to fly comfortably. I'm spending the extra, $75 to sit in a comfortable chair when I'm flying for 5 hours. That's where my money is going because these flying days are really hard on my body. And so I want to be comfortable. So that's where my money's going because my suitcase is full. So you know what? There we go. But I was going into these stores. And I was looking at the fabric and I was feeling it. I was letting my eye kind of scan the things in the store, being like, yes, please, universe. I will take that in my future. My body will happily wear that dress. Thank you so, so much. I'm going to receive that now. I'm going to receive the energy of that now. I'm going to call that into my future and I'm going to get comfortable walking around the store. Am I looking? Yeah. Am I buying anything? No. I'm just getting comfortable being in the space because I'm the person that shops here. You have to start putting yourself in these situations that allow you to receive the energy of whatever you want. You hear these examples about people, when they're looking for their next, dream home, they'll go walk the neighborhoods that they want to eventually live in. This is all part of the manifestation process. This is all part of you getting comfortable with what you are asking for to receive an experience and have them be in your life. So this is my current story of it. I laughed when those thoughts ran through my head and I laughed when I sat at the cafe and I laughed when I ordered and I laughed when I saw the bill. I was like, oh, maybe just a couple more pesos than the average cafe down the street, but not by much. And it was very delicious and it was such an experience. And I felt fancy. And I totally felt like enough. And I was also like people watching, wondering what was going on in their head. And I was just like flowing everybody energy and everybody money into their bank accounts and wallets. Like I was just being the energy of what I would want someone to do if I was walking past them at any, space or location or store or whatever. So this is my daily life at the moment. Just a look into what's going on in my world. Thank you. So from the sunny yet cold mountains of San Cristobal de la Casa in Chiapas, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't put this area on your bucket list to come see in Mexico, put it on your bucket list. Come, bring 2 wardrobes, spring and fall. It gets cold. People in Mexico don't have heaters. If you're from Canada and the US and you're used to that, you got to wear your winter clothes inside and outside. So it's a beautiful place. So put on your bucket list. Come check it out. If you're an outdoorsy person, you're going to love San Cristobal de la Casa. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have not already subscribed and liked or left a review for this channel, I would highly encourage and welcome you to do so. It really helps this channel grow, helps me reach more people, as you know. And if you haven't already joined my email community, hop on over there. This is where I give some exclusive content. It's where I share what's been posted lately and also share my recent travels and ways, also drop in ways to create the life that you want to live yourself. I'm also really excited, and I hope you guys are excited for the content to come end of 2024, beginning of 2025. I've got a series being created that's going to help you create more in your life and start to share with you more of what I do in my one-on-one space. I know this YouTube channel has a podcast that's more energetic, and then the fitness side, which is more of the body. And from my experience, whenever someone works with me, we always bring in both. So I really hope that you have been enjoying the workouts and also look forward to enjoying more of the content here on the podcast that is more of the energetic manifestation, letting go side of the whole process. They're very much intertwined for my life and my clients' life. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the content so far. Okay, enough of me speaking. Go have a freaking magical day, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out. Bye.